Camille Pissarro was born July 10, 1830, in St. Thomas as Jacob Abraham Camille Pissarro. His parents had a controversial marriage because his mother was Creole and his father was a Portuguese Jew from France. At the age of 12, he moved to France in order to go to boarding school. He learned to appreciate the art of France. After he spent a few years in Venezuela, he moved back to France in 1853 and started to shape the Impressionist movement with his friends Gustave Courbet, Claude Monet, and Paul Cézanne. This new style of painting was not accepted by society because they were not traditional paintings with morals and religious themes. In 1871, he married Julie Vallée and together they had 7 children. They lived outside of Paris, where Pissarro painted scenes of village life and the natural world. During the Franco-Prussian War of the 1870s, much of Pissarro's work was destroyed, but with the help of some other artists of the time period, Cézanne, Monet, Renoir, and Degas, not only did he bring back Impressionism, but they also created their own salons for Impressionist art. In the 1880s, Pissarro started to look away from Impressionism and looked toward Post-Impressionism. As he left Impressionism, it started to decline. Post-Impressionism was the latest art movement, and Pissarro painted a little in this style, but because of his importance in the shaping of the Impressionist movement, Pissarro is known as an Impressionist artist. He died in November 13, 1903.
Pissarro was one of the fathers of Impressionism. As typical of his style, he studied light and its effects on subjects in different seasons. Pissarro also incorporated modern life and technology into his works. Impressionism roots were established by the Industrial Revolution. Because of the revolution, people were able to get more goods, better goods, and get them faster.
In urban cities, many factories produced items in mass quantities. Because of this, many tools used for creating art were made cheaper. For example, factories started to produce oil paint in portable tubes. This made painting more cost and time effective, is that the artists could save their unused paint and were able to more easily experience plein air painting. In addition, because of the industrialization and the new technologies that were developed, advancements in the field of optics influenced how Pissarro, among other Impressionist artists, painted. Pissarro experimented with how the eye blends the color of dots of paint together. This enhanced the quality of his pointillist work. Pissarro's typical loose brushstrokes to create a calm scene suggest that he wanted to feel serenity amidst the chaos of the Industrial Revolution. In Chestnut Trees at Louvciennes, Camille Pissarro used light to unify the country still life. Nuances of color are applied in small separate strokes to show where the light hits. Where light does not hit, Pissarro often shows shadows. The scene depicts the location of a rural peasant landscape.
During the Franco-Prussian War, Pissarro was forced to flee his hometown and move to England. This is where he painted Hyde Park, London. Here, Pissarro focused on the attractions of London and tried to show everyday life and the beauties of these attractions.
In the piece Hyde Park, London, the focal point are the trees and the still life of a rural landscape. The season is fall and is shown through the changing colors of the leaves. This is another piece where the changing of seasons is shown. Walnut and apple trees in bloom at Oranie was created by Pissarro in 1895. This painting of a tree in blossom starts to venture into Post-Impressionism ideas. In this piece, he ventures into the Post-Impressionism style of pointillism. Pointillism uses tiny dots and dabs of color mixed by the viewer's eyes alone to create paintings. Another famous artist that used this style was Georges Seurat, whom Pissarro worked with closely. His famous painting, A Sunday Afternoon on the Island of La Grande Jatte, was made entirely of small dots of color next to each other as well. In both Seurat's painting and the walnut and apple trees in blossom at Oranie, the close-up picture looks blurry and messy, but as you step away, the painting comes into focus as the viewer's eyes mix and blend the close, small dabs of color. These experimental paintings that Pissarro did later in his life show the slow transition into Post-Impressionism.